The galaxy was quiet. For thousands of years, the T-Scar aliens ruled many star systems. They believed they were alone. They had searched many planets but found only simple life. No smart species, no space travelers, just silence. So the T-Scar stopped looking. They built cities on moons and planets, thinking they were the most powerful race in the stars. But far away, on a small blue planet, something was changing. The planet was called Earth. Humans were new to space. They had sent a few ships, built small stations, and reached the Moon and Mars, but they were still slow. They did not have faster-than-light travel. They did not know other aliens were watching from far above. One day, a T-Scar scout ship passed near Earth. It picked up strange radio signals and light patterns. Curious, the ship came closer. The alien captain laughed when he saw Earth's satellites. Primitive, he said. No shields, no weapons, no threat. The captain sent a report to the T-Scar High Council. Planet 19XE4, named Earth by locals. Low-tech species, weak defenses. Population, 9 billion. Suggest elimination. Could be used for mining. The council didn't even discuss it. They just said one word. Approved. A large T-Scar war fleet was sent to Earth. Hundreds of black ships came out of hyperspace near the moon. Humans saw them on telescopes. People thought it was a joke or a movie. No one believed it was real. Then the sky caught fire. Cities exploded in seconds. Giant lasers hit New York, Beijing, Mumbai, Paris, and Cairo. Satellites fell from the sky. Power grids went dark. People screamed. Planes crashed. Ships sank. In just 1 hour, most of the world was destroyed. No warning, no mercy, no escape. In space, far above Earth, one man was still alive. His name was Elias Grant. Elias was a space engineer. He had been working alone on an old communication satellite near Mars. When he received the first emergency message, he tried to call Earth. No one answered. He looked at the planet through a telescope. He saw fire. He saw the lights go out. He saw his home die. His hands shook, his eyes filled with tears, his wife, his son, his friends, all gone. Everything he knew was gone. He wanted to scream, but there was no one to hear. For 2 days, Elias floated alone in the dark. His food supply was low. His oxygen was running out. He thought about ending it, opening the airlock, letting go. But then, something inside him changed. He remembered his son's voice. "Never give up, Dad," the boy had said. Never. Elias wiped his eyes. He made a plan. The satellite he was on had old tools, backup computers, and a solar panel. He started working. First, he saved power. Then he fixed the radio. Slowly, he found signals from Earth. Weak, broken voices. Survivors. People hiding underground in bunkers in old labs. Not everyone was dead. A spark of hope returned. Elias sent a message. "This is Elias Grant. I am alive. You are not alone. We fight back." The message went out across the dead skies of Earth. "This is Elias Grant. I am alive. You are not alone. We fight back." In old bunkers, some survivors heard it. In a hidden lab under Antarctica, a scientist cried when she heard his voice. In a deep cave in South America, soldiers raised their heads. On a forgotten moon base, a single robot replayed the message again and again. Elias's words gave them hope. But hope was not enough. They needed a plan. Elias worked every day inside the broken satellite. He fixed the old systems. He connected to leftover Earth satellites still working in low orbit. Slowly, he built a small network. He named it EchoNet. Through EchoNet, he found more survivors. A man named Ramirez, an ex-soldier, was hiding in the mountains. He had weapons and a few drones. A young woman, Anya, was in an underground lab in Russia. She had power cells and old computer systems. A group of engineers on Mars had an old mining ship and fuel. They all had little. But together, they had something stronger, a reason to fight. Elias became their voice. Every night he sent messages, news, plans, and stories from before the war. He reminded people what Earth used to be. He told them the names of lost cities. He spoke of music, of oceans, of children laughing. He reminded them that they were human and humans don't give up. While others listened, Elias kept building. He found a hidden NASA file deep in the satellite's memory. It was a plan for a secret prototype, a stealth ship called the Shadowbird. It was never finished. It had no weapons, no shields. But it was fast, small, and almost invisible to scanners. Elias began to build it. Piece by piece, he used the broken parts of satellites around him. He flew out in a small pod collecting metal and wiring. Sometimes he had to dodge Tiscar drones still floating in orbit. Twice they almost found him, but he was careful. He was smart, and he was angry. He remembered the day of the attack. He remembered the screams. He remembered fire falling from the sky. That memory kept him going. Months passed. The Shadowbird was almost ready. But Elias knew he couldn't do this alone. He needed more help. He reached out again through EchoNet. "I need a pilot," he said. "And I need eyes on the Tiscar." Ramirez answered. "We found a crashed alien ship in the jungle, half broken but not useless." Anya added, "I cracked part of their language. I can understand some of their code now." Others began to send reports, maps of Tiscar patrols, weak points in their scanners, old military plans from Earth's archives. Something was changing. The humans were no longer hiding. They were planning, they were moving, and they were watching. Meanwhile, the Tiscar thought Earth was finished. They called it a cleansed world. Their warships still floated above, but they were now focused on other targets. They believed no one could survive such destruction. They were wrong. One day, a small Tiscar ship vanished near Mars. No one knew how. Another ship lost control near the moon and crashed into a crater. The Tiscar blamed malfunctions, but it wasn't bad luck. It was the beginning of something new. Back inside the satellite, Elias looked at the Shadowbird. It was ready. He opened his log and recorded a message. "This is Elias Grant. Earth is not dead. We are still here, and soon they will know it." The stars above Earth were quiet, but something had changed below. Small teams of humans were waking up across the planet. They no longer waited in fear. They were fixing broken machines, building secret tunnels, and studying the enemy's tech. They were not many. They had no armies, but they had something powerful, a reason to fight. Elias Grant flew the Shadowbird for the first time. It was fast, smooth, and nearly invisible. It made no sound. The ship had no weapons, but it had powerful scanners. That was enough, for now. He flew low over ruined cities. He saw the broken buildings, the empty streets, the black skies. Smoke still rose from some places. The Tiscar had killed billions. But Elias saw signs of life. A light in a window. A small garden on a rooftop. A handmade flag hanging from a broken wall. Humans were still alive. He sent a message through EchoNet. They didn't finish the job. Let's show them why that was a mistake. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Ramirez and his team worked on the crashed Tiscar scout ship. Its wings were broken and its power core damaged, but its main system still worked. With help from Anya, they learned how to control it. "We can't fly it yet," Ramirez said, "but we can learn from it." The Tiscar tech was advanced, much better than anything humans had. But it had one weakness. It was too perfect. Tiscar systems expected everything to work as planned. They did not understand chaos. They did not understand human unpredictability. Elias saw this as a weapon. He flew the Shadowbird closer to Tiscar patrols, testing their sensors. Sometimes he flew right past them, and they didn't see him. He planted small beacons near their towers. He listened to their signals. Anya translated more of their language each day. Then it happened. A Tiscar mining ship exploded above Earth. No warning, no clear reason. The aliens were confused. Their leaders sent orders: investigate, repair, control. But they didn't know that humans were now inside their systems. Anya had sent a virus through a hacked signal. It made the ship's cooling system fail. It was just the beginning. Elias and his team smiled. They called it Operation Thorn. Not a war. Not yet. Just small hits. Tiny cuts. Enough to make the enemy bleed. Across Earth, other humans joined the Echo Net. Some were old soldiers. Some were young coders. Some were farmers, drivers, builders. Everyone had a role. They shared tools, food, and ideas. They shared stories, too. About loved ones lost. About life before the fall. About what they dreamed for the future. These stories kept them strong. In space, the Tiskar grew nervous. Their systems reported errors. Ships vanished. Patrols went missing. They believed it was a machine virus. They did not believe humans could be behind it. That belief would cost them. Elias made a decision. He would take the Shadowbird to the edge of the moon, where a small Tiskar command base was built. It controlled part of their fleet in orbit. If he could get close, maybe Anya could break into their deeper codes. He sent a message to the team. Tomorrow we go loud. Ramirez prepared drones. Anya loaded her virus. Others stood by, ready to block Tiskar responses. Elias sat in the Shadowbird alone, looking at Earth. He whispered, "This is for all of you. For everyone they took. For everyone still fighting." Then the Shadowbird vanished into the dark sky. The Shadowbird moved like a ghost through space. No sound. No light. No signal. Elias sat in the pilot's seat. His hands were steady. His eyes were focused. Ahead of him was the moon, and just behind it, a secret Tiskar base. It was built after the invasion. From there, the aliens watched Earth and sent commands to their fleet. It was small but important. Elias planned to break into it. Anya spoke through the radio. "Once you're close, I'll send the virus. It will take over their signal system." "Understood," Elias replied. "How much time will I have?" 5 minutes, maybe 6. Then they'll notice something's wrong." "Good enough." Below, Ramirez and his team were ready with drones. They would distract the patrol ships. If everything worked, the Tiskar wouldn't notice Elias until it was too late. Elias flew closer. The moon looked gray and lifeless. But near the dark side he saw lights, blue and sharp, coming from the alien base. 4 towers stood tall. Small defense guns pointed outward, but the Shadowbird's stealth kept it hidden. He moved slow and quiet, like a shadow. Anya's voice came again. "You're in range. Sending virus. Now." Elias saw lines of code appear on his screen. The alien system began to change. 1 tower blinked, then 2. The lights turned red. Confused signals started bouncing between the towers. Inside the Tiskar base, the soldiers began to panic. "System error. Main link is down. Unknown signal detected." But it was already too late. Anya's virus had entered deep. It turned off cameras. It opened doors. It froze the defense systems for 5 whole minutes. That's all Elias needed. He landed the Shadowbird on the surface. He wore a black spacesuit with a small oxygen tank. He ran toward the base. No alarms. No guards. Inside he moved fast. The halls were cold and metallic. Blue lights flickered. He followed Anya's map on his visor. Left. Right. Down the ramp. Into the command room. It was empty. He rushed to the main console. Alien symbols flashed across the screen. But Anya had taught him the basics. He plugged in a data stick. 3 minutes left, Anya said in his ear. The virus downloaded all the data it could. Fleet routes, ship types, fuel bases, weak points. Elias didn't understand it all, but Anya would. 2 minutes, she said. Elias ran back to the ship. The virus started to crash the system on purpose, to cover their tracks. As he reached the Shadowbird, he heard a strange noise. A Tiskar soldier had spotted him. Tall, with 4 arms and glowing eyes, it raised a weapon. Elias didn't stop. He jumped inside the ship and slammed the hatch shut. A blue blast hit the outer shell, but the Shadowbird held strong. He powered the engines and took off fast. The ship shot upward, twisting past the towers. Now the T-Scar knew he was there. Ships launched from orbit, sirens rang. Lasers fired into space, but they couldn't catch him. The Shadowbird flew fast, slipping into the black sky. It disappeared before they could lock on. Back on Earth, Anya and Ramirez watched the data come in. "This is everything," Anya said. "Their routes, their codes, even the location of their main command ship." Ramirez smiled. "So now we know where to hit them." Elias's voice came over the radio. Calm, cold, focused. "We hurt them today. Tomorrow we strike harder, the Bai." Secret data from the moon base changed everything. Elias, Anya, and Ramirez now knew the truth. The T-Scar had one main command ship in Earth's orbit. It was called Varcon. It controlled all T-Scar patrols, drones, and supply routes. If that ship was destroyed, the alien grip on Earth would weaken. But the Varcon was huge. It was the size of a small city. It had strong shields, heavy weapons, and hundreds of guards. Attacking it directly would mean death. Still, Elias had a plan. "We won't attack it head-on," he said. "We'll sneak in." Ramirez laughed. "You want to sneak into the most dangerous ship in orbit?" "Yes," Elias said. "We already did it once on the moon. We can do it again." The team gathered. Survivors from across Earth joined the EchoNet call. There were pilots, engineers, old scientists, and even ex-military officers. Everyone wanted to help. Anya explained the plan. "We will send a small team into the Varcon using the Shadowbird. At the same time, others will hit T-Scar sensor towers on Earth. That will distract them. While they look down, we go up." Ramirez added, "Inside the Varcon is a control core. If we destroy it, the ship will lose command. Other T-Scar ships will break formation. It'll be chaos." Elias nodded. "That's when Earth fights back." It was a crazy plan, a dangerous one, but it was the only chance they had. The team prepared. Ramirez's drones were armed and ready. Anya coded new viruses to blind T-Scar systems. Elias checked every part of the Shadowbird. Fuel, engines, oxygen, stealth. Everything had to work perfectly. At dawn, the mission began. All over Earth, human teams attacked sensor towers. Explosions lit the sky in Asia, Africa, and South America. T-Scar forces responded fast. They sent scout ships and ground patrols to find the attackers, but that was exactly what Elias wanted. High above, the Shadowbird left Earth's atmosphere, moving fast and silent. It was invisible to the T-Scar scanners, thanks to Anya's virus. Elias flew alone. The stars seemed quiet, but his heart was loud. He thought about his family, his son's smile, the life he lost, and he promised himself, "This ends today." The Varcon came into view. It was dark, wide, and shaped like a claw. Blue lights ran along its sides. Hundreds of small ships flew around it like insects. Elias aimed for a weak spot, a maintenance port hidden under the lower wing. The Shadowbird docked quietly. No alarms, no guards. Elias entered the ship. He moved through tight metal halls guided by Anya's map. The Varcon was cold and strange. Alien voices echoed in the distance. Glowing wires ran along the walls. T-Scar tech was advanced, but now Elias understood it better than ever before. He reached the core room. It was guarded by two tall T-Scar warriors. Elias had no gun, but he had a plan. He dropped a small EMP device. It flashed blue, and the guards froze. Their armor systems failed. They fell, stunned. Elias rushed to the core. It was a giant glowing orb connected to thick wires. It controlled the ship's AI, weapons, and fleet orders. He placed a bomb, small but strong. Then he connected a cable to the system. Anya's virus flowed in. 30 seconds, she said. Then boom. Elias ran. He jumped back into the Shadowbird and took off just as alarms started to blare. T-Scar fighters chased him. Lasers flew past his ship. One hit the wing, but the Shadowbird kept flying. Then, the explosion. A blue light flashed behind him. The Varcon shook. Its core was gone. Across space, Tiskar ships stopped moving. Some turned, some crashed into each other. Confusion spread fast. On Earth, human teams saw the sky change. The Tiskar fleet was falling apart. Ramirez shouted, "Now! Hit them hard!" For the first time since the invasion, Earth was fighting back, with fire and fury. And it all started with one man and a stolen ship. The destruction of the Varcon was the spark Earth needed. For years, humans had hidden and waited. Now they were ready to fight. The Tiskar fleet above Earth was confused and weak. Without the Varcon's command, their ships moved like lost children. Some fought each other by mistake. Others fled in fear. Down on Earth, Elias, Ramirez, and Anya watched the stars from their hidden base. The air was thick with tension and hope. "We hit them hard," Ramirez said, gripping his rifle. "But they will come back, stronger." Elias nodded. "We need to prepare. This war is far from over." The human teams across the planet started to move. Cities still in ruins became strongholds. People rebuilt defenses, repaired old weapons, and trained quickly. Elias sent messages on EchoNet. He reminded everyone, "We fight not just for today, but for tomorrow." The Tiskar were not ready for human spirit. The aliens sent a large fleet to Earth. Hundreds of ships filled the sky, shining like stars. Their weapons were powerful, their soldiers fierce. But humans had learned. They had new weapons made from stolen Tiskar tech and old Earth machines. They used guerrilla tactics. They hid in ruins. They struck fast and vanished. One night, Elias flew the Shadowbird on a dangerous mission. He had learned the Tiskar main base on Earth was hidden under the Pacific Ocean, in a deep underwater cave. From there, the aliens controlled their ground troops and supply lines. If Elias could destroy that base, it would break the Tiskar hold on Earth forever. Elias prepared carefully. Anya sent new virus codes to blind underwater sensors. Ramirez's team got special diving suits and weapons. The plan was simple but deadly. Elias flew the Shadowbird over the ocean. It skimmed the waves silently. Below, the water was dark and cold. He found the cave entrance. It was guarded by heavy shields and drones. Elias waited for the virus to work. Suddenly, the shields flickered and went down. The drones lost power. Elias dropped a bomb. It exploded, with a deep boom under the water. The cave entrance cracked. Ramirez and his team swam inside using the special suits. They fought Tiskar guards in narrow tunnels. The battle was fierce. Bullets and alien lasers flashed in the dark water. Elias watched from above. He was alone but ready to help. Inside the cave, Ramirez found the control room. He placed explosives on the alien machines. "Time to end this," he said. Elias gave the signal. Explosions rocked the cave. The base began to collapse. Outside, the ocean waves rose high. A giant explosion lit the sky. The Tiskar underwater base was destroyed. Tiskar soldiers on land were confused. Their orders stopped. Their weapons went dark. Across Earth, humans cheered. The war was not over, but hope was alive. Elias looked at the stars. He thought of his son, of Earth, and of the people still fighting. He whispered, "We will win. We must." The war reached its highest point. Earth's skies were filled with battle. Tiskar ships fought humans with fierce power. Lasers and explosions lit the night like stars burning out. Elias stood on a ruined hill, watching the fight below. His heart beat fast. This was the moment they had all waited for. The humans were no longer afraid. They fought for their homes, for their families, for the future. Ramirez led a squad on the ground. They moved through broken cities, fighting Tiskar soldiers who tried to hold their ground. The air was thick with smoke and noise. Anya worked in a hidden lab. She sent new viruses into Tiskar ships and weapons. The alien systems failed again and again. Thanks to her skill, Elias flew the Shadowbird in space. His mission was to find the T-Scar leader's ship, the Last Command, sent her in orbit. Without it, the aliens could not fight together. The ship was huge and heavily guarded. Elias knew it was dangerous, but he had no choice. He flew closer. Scar fighters attacked. Elias dodged lasers and missiles. The Shadowbird was fast and small. He slipped through their defenses. Finally, he reached the leader's ship. He saw the control tower, a tall, glowing structure in the center. Elias landed the Shadowbird on a platform. He moved quickly inside. The T-Scar leader waited, a giant with glowing eyes and sharp armor. Elias did not hesitate. They fought. The leader was strong, but Elias was faster and smarter. He used every skill he had learned. In the end, Elias struck a final blow. The leader fell. The ship shook. Systems failed. Elias planted explosives. He ran back to the Shadowbird. The ship exploded behind him in a great fireball. In space, the T-Scar fleet lost all control. Ships stopped moving. Some turned away. Others crashed into each other. On Earth, people cheered. The long nightmare was ending. Elias looked at the stars. He thought about the future, a future where humans could live free. He smiled. Earth was no longer alone.